Hello everybody, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. We just beat a dungeon. I hope you didn't like being in those, because it's gonna be a little while, princess. Heroics.
That's a really long title.
I'm impressed
Eat
that
it,
you've been
Peter
keeping
Jackson.
that going for so long.
I'm determined now, goddammit.
Well, to be fair, we've had a week between sessions, so I think Ted, if he was smart, would write a list down.
John, you think too highly of me.
Yeah, list.
Organization? What's that?
So anyway,
One of the bad guys in Kingdom Hearts, if I remember.
if you remember last part, which I barely do, we beat the first dungeon of the game, and so now we're just... I forget why exactly we went in there, other than Midna said there was a thing she wanted. I don't think that there was any reason story-wise why Link could just say screw you and leave.
We had to help the monkey.
Oh yeah, yeah, but the monkeys never helped us.
We're a
Got a
hero. Link is a hero. He just helps people for the sake of helping.
I mean, I guess that's true. I think we also probably need the Gale Boomerang in order to leave the
Also,
port on
do you
anyway.
see what he does at home? Would you rather Goat Wrangle again?
I mean, those goats are pretty badass. We should get the horde of them to storm Hyrule Castle and beat Zant, and then we won't have any problems, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, there's
That'd
just
probably work.
straight up nothing preventing us from walking into Hyrule Field. Okay, never mind. Anyway, best Hyrule Field music, don't at me. Alright. You're gonna at me.
Permanent Field.
That's just the regular Zelda theme.
It's still great, though.
It's just...
It is good.
It's just the Zelda theme.
Wait, what? Ocarina of Time's Hyrule?
No,
No,
Termina
Termina.
Field.
Oh, Termina? Yeah, that is just like Zelda theme. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly
I think
more
Hyrule
fast.
Field Ocarina in Ocarina of Time is really
No, honestly, I hate that theme. Like, I can't
Really?
Yeah, like, I can't... Okay, there's two reasons.
You have to know, Ted really hates Ocarina of Time.
I don't hate it, I just think...
Excuse me, we're gonna have some problems.
I don't
now.
hate it.
All right.
Okay.
I will fight you.
He literally stopped playing the game right at Ganon's Tower.
Yo, that's because getting the fire arrows in that game is stupid. We're talking about that later. Anyway, bugs are important. We're gonna get some bugs. Anyway, okay. So there's two reasons for it. One, I think the song as a whole is just kind of repetitive and not super memorable to me. The other is...
It takes you on an adventure. It has like different spots in it, and it has like changes in it, and it's good. It is
This
a
is
good
such
song.
an intellectual description of music.
Yes. You can tell that I know music.
I also hate Hyrule Field and Ocarina of Time, and by proxy hate the music, because there's nothing to do in there, and the pea-hats are scary, and you fall into holes out of nowhere, and the entire, like, left half is a waste of space, and...
I can accept
Pineapples
that.
want you dead.
Like, I'm biased because I have nostalgia, and I love it for that reason, but, like, looking at it objectively, I can take that.
Yeah, it's
Not
not
the
a
music,
good
though.
it's not a good field, but at the same time, there's not a lot to do here either, and Skyloft is a literal void of empty space.
Okay, so I'm sure we're gonna argue plenty about the overworld, but first we've got the best character in
Fortnite.
the game going
The
off.
true hero of the American people.
Well, this is a different postman, so is this the hero of the Canadian people instead? Because I'm
Sure, why
sure
not?
they get mail. I think. I don't know. If any Canadians could confirm or deny whether or not you get mail, or if you've moved on to something better, please let us
Quick,
know.
the Clement call.
But anyway, I'm sure we're gonna have.
Wow, that thing hasn't been used in a long time.
I'm sure we're gonna get plenty of arguments about this. It's a little bit not as much when you don't have the horse, but thankfully you get the horse much earlier in this game.
The
than
guy
other
ran up
games.
to you to deliver mail, explaining how mail works.
Yes.
Nintendo.
Service with a smile.
Why?
Mail time, mail time, mail
See,
time.
Most games that have mail/email systems in them have messages that basically serve as tutorials for how the mail system works, but there's usually less obviousness to it.
It comes across a little bit better when it's an email and they can be like, hello, this is the automated message system or whatever. As opposed, let me pick up the bug. Jeez. It looks like its talons are digging into my brain because I was stupid enough to try to pick up a bug while fighting pterodactyls. But okay, whatever.
Nintendo taught me what the male and female symbols mean, by the way, because like Pokemon Gold and Silver had to use those, and I didn't know what they were.
Oh yeah,
had to
when I
look them up.
was when I was a kid, I was like, "What is a Nidoran circle
Up
with an
sign.
arrow coming out
A
of it?"
circle with an arrow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I
so
forgot about the Nidorans.
oh yeah, what's Nidoran? The Phil and Lil's mom's shirt symbol.
Why does this Nidoran turn into a king and the other one turn into a queen? What's that about?
They were born into royalty, I guess.
Also, boy, this distinction is utterly pointless now that we're in Gen 2 and they actually have genders now.
yeah, basically.
And yet they're still distinct.
Yeah.
Why was it that in Gen 1 only one species of Pokemon had two genders?
Because it was an idea they wanted to have but didn't implement.
And now it's outdated.
Yeah, the idea of gender differences is something that they wanted back then. It's just that Pokemon Gen 1 was a somewhat rushed and very wonkily developed game. And so...
Yeah, fair enough.
They tried their best with what they had, I suppose.
It's just that the weird artifacts of that game's bizarre design cycle remain to this day in the modern games.
Yeah,
It's,
basically.
Yeah, I feel like that should have changed a long time ago.
With things like, for example, Nidoqueen is unable to give birth in the daycare, but Nidoran female can. So, you know, that makes sense.
Well, I think the Moonstones come with a vasectomy.
Not for Wigglytuff.
Oh no!
Uh,
Oh no!
Explain that.
I never, I don't want to.
Oh no, it's the sword that stupid kid was holding that I don't care about.
That's the smelliest piece of wood I've ever seen in my entire life.
Demon baby.
It got all the scents on it.
So what, were they all just like rubbing it on themselves in order for...
It smells like a smelly bunch of kids.
Oh god, that means it probably smells like Axe body spray. The worst.
Now, I'm not a big fan of detective mode slash, supervision.
It's literally just follow a line in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's really annoying.
Well, I don't
It's-
mind the scent mechanic itself. The scent mechanic itself I actually like. The follow the scent trail in order to go where you need to go. That's like whatever. It doesn't.
You
it-
might as
it's-
well be following the Sparklies in Fable 2, just
it's-
leading you.
I mean, it is a bit superfluous, but it doesn't make me angry. So whatever. But I like the scent mode for a couple of reasons. One is that it makes it easier to see in front of you in dark areas at the expense of not being able to see far, which I think is a cool thing. And also the idea that there's hidden stuff everywhere if you just bother to look, I think is also neat as well.
I mean, the hidden
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, the hidden stuff, unless you're in an area that's specifically designed to use it, is pointless because it's like 99% just rupees.
Health too. The idea that you can, if you're running low on health, you can just pick some up anyway is good. If only
I
so the
guess, but
beeping
that's
stops.
I guess, but this game isn't terribly hard combat-wise.
get
So.
good.
Not
That's
really.
your
Well, unless
answer.
you're playing hero mode.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you ever played Hero Ganondorf mode?
I want to.
Because that I think
Three hard run,
really
three
want
hard
to.
run, say of Hero Ganondorf mode. Say.
I might do it. I actually might do
But
it.
3 heart Hero Ganondorf mode's redundant because most of the stuff in Hero mode would be able to one-shot you anyway at that point. Do you
Yeah,
want to
but the
get
point
like?
is, you.
It's a very sure one shot.
I like this
Yeah,
bit.
that's the thing. You can't get enough hard pieces to where things won't
I like
one-shot
this
you.
bit where you just find the bridge 2 feet away from another teleport point, and very conveniently 2 feet away from another teleport point, and then just teleport it back to where it belongs. This
I
Midna's
vaguely
OP,
remember
man.
being really pissed off at this. I vaguely remember being really pissed off at that bridge because I couldn't find it. I just didn't remember that it was there / didn't realize that was a bridge, and I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong. There is no cutscene that establishes.
Yeah,
that it's
but
there
you're
Unless you
facing-
walk up to it.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah, unless you
facing
go up
it when you walk into the area, and it's right there. And
Well, as Masae was getting at earlier, it can be hard to tell that it's actually supposed to be
Yeah,
a
no,
bridge.
but it's brown in a very brown game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very brown area, and it's like
It's-
it
it's-
blended
it's-
in.
it's-
It's
I-
very much blended in.
It's
Oh, right.
weird because you'll either see it and realize it's out of place, or your eyes will skid past it on your first time through, and and you won't.
That's what happened
have
to me.
You won't have any idea that anything was out of the ordinary in that area at all.
Well, the game at that point brings up the teleport system, and there's only like 2 places to teleport at this point. That's actually one thing that I think is vastly improved over the games before it is the warp points in this game, because granted, you don't have full access to it until the midpoint, which I think is okay because you get to learn the world beforehand. But you just get to go to your list and choose where you want to go, and there's a lot of warp points. Whereas, from what I've seen of Wind Waker, there's not really that many warp points, and from what I know of Ocarina of Time, there's like 5, and they're all in really dumb, out-of-the-way places.
It's Majora's Mask with one less step.
Yeah. Well, Majora's Mask, the extra step you're talking about is playing the song, right?
Playing the song.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you do have that extra step because Midna doesn't want you to transform for whatever reason, but, you know. I forgot that Majora's Mask existed. Sorry. The real big thing for me...
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna
I
have
will
some
at you
issues.
now.
I've never played much farther than the part where you start the Goron stuff. I just never got much farther than that. Like, I don't remember if I told you specifically my Majora's Mask story, but I've definitely said it on the channel before. Basically, what happened is it was my first Zelda game, and I only knew about Link from Smash Brothers. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try out this new Zelda game. And so I played it, and I couldn't get past the first area because I couldn't find the kids in the hide and seek mini game.
No.
And I think it took me like 4 or 5 tries in order to
He's a
get
piece of shit.
past the point where you...
Smash Brothers again.
This is
It
kind of
took-
why I'm grateful that my
no.
first Zelda game was Link's Awakening, because it was, at its core, a very simple A Link to the Past kind of game on Game Boy. And yeah, the inventory system is kind of cumbersome in retrospect, but, well, I didn't have A Link to the Past before that, so I didn't notice.
Honestly, it's not even that much better in A Link to the Past. You just don't have to swap items to combine them in different ways as much.
The real
so-
irritating thing is that your sword and shield have to be equipped to the 2 item
Equipable
boxes,
items.
so you can't have your shield
Yeah.
up and
That's
use the
unfortunate.
jumping
I
item
can't-
at the same time. Yeah, it's annoying.
It's just an unfortunate consequence of being on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yet the NES game gave you an inherent shield anyway. So, put that limited system thing up its ass.
I'm talking more about the combination parts.
Didn't the shield in Link to the Past, like, do more blocking if you pressed a button or something like that?
I don't
Nope.
think you could
No.
press
Oh.
a shield button. It would block if your shield was angled towards something, and I think it like bounced off projectiles or something. But the Link's Awakening shield, by virtue of having a shield button, blocks more reliably. So there's a sort of a give and take there. It's just, you know, if there was a third item button, it would be a hell of a lot more convenient.
Let's start pressing select in the middle of combat on the Game Boy Color, where the select button takes a screwdriver in order to press
Can
properly.
we not? No.
Actually, no
That
thanks.
it's kind of like off topic, but it's kind of the thing I found hilarious about Mega Man Extreme on Game Boy, that you can double tap forward to dash, but you can also hit the start button.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine
It's
all the
about as
kids.
stupid as it sounds.
Imagine all the kids who try to dash, try to pause, and then just end up dashing all over the place. Man, that guy's an asshole.
This scene was kind of nice, like just a nice little interaction scene. The not nice little is a bad description. It's all kind of tense because they're in a bad situation, but you know, an interestingly written interaction scene between a bunch of NPCs that don't really matter to the plot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like honestly, like Barnes here, like a lot of people say that the NPCs in Twilight Princess don't have personality, but Barnes here, like, did you see that animation he made when he was crawling
Yeah,
towards?
Barnes is full of it in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I mean, granted, most of the NPCs in Twilight Princess don't do much, but I do think a lot of them are very memorable. If only, I think you want to know, the thing I think that Twilight Princess might have a problem with is that it's the NPCs that are considered more important that are the ones that are less interesting, you know? Like, because minor characters like the
Yeah.
Yetis that we'll see later, or Barnes here, or are, you know, really entertaining, but then you get someone like Ilya who's supposed to be your main love interest, and she's,
She's a piece of wood.
Yeah.
Or your four super best friends who come to help you at Hyrule Castle and you know nothing about them and you don't care.
Well, at least those guys
Yeah.
have. We'll get to them later, but their designs are cool. At least.
The mercenaries, I feel, are the biggest missed opportunity.
Yeah, they could have done
for,
a lot
Twilight
more with them.
Princess.
Like, I get what they were trying to do with them, but we'll talk more about them when we get to it. Because, although granted, we might have that conversation multiple times because this is a 60+ part playthrough. So
Yeah.
we'll see what
I
happens.
mean, like, I don't know, like, I feel like the characters that are memorable are really memorable in Twilight Princess. It's just that there isn't a ton of them. So, like, I tend to not latch on to any particular character for too long.
That makes sense. I do think that more time put into each character to give them more time to shine would have been a good thing. Because again, the mercenaries, they really only have like 2 or 3 scenes tops, and then
Yeah. I actually completely forgot that they existed.
Oh, I did too.
I completely forgot about them.
I did too.
Until with this conversation, I was like,
You
wait,
never
what
forget
mercenaries?
Bazooka Girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So anyway, I forget why. Oh, we need to go into the cellar because of
A bug is in there.
The bug. Okay, so
Although I guess, I mean, that's another kind of problem with the NPCs where they're talking about all these beasts and bugs and stuff. It's like, they're bugs. Are you guys that ill-equipped to deal with anything in this world?
those are pretty damn big bugs, though. That's like a
Take a stick and hit them with it.
It's a bug the size of like a cat. All right, I'd be afraid of
Sorry, if like I like bugs, but if I saw one that was essentially the size of my head, I'd be like noping.
Well,
the
yeah,
freaking
yeah. I mean,
right
to be
then
fair,
and
like bugs are bugs. But if
If
someone
your
told
choice
you-
is to sit in a house and wait to
someone
get devoured by
told you-
monsters, or go through a cellar and beat some bugs, you will beat some bugs.
If someone told
I will
you
beat some
there
bugs,
was,
yes.
if someone told you there was a big poisonous scorpion in the cellar, would you do it, whether you had a big stick or not?
If the choice was to face a scorpion and beat it with a stick, or a monster who I'm pretty sure will actually kill me, the choice is kind of obvious.
It's either me or
this
him.
is true.
Yeah, but also there's option C. Wait for Senpai to come in. What am I grabbing on?
Senpai.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not Breath of the Wild yet. Ted.
Yeah, but we try our best. And anyway, so bugs. How do you guys feel about bugs?
An utterly pointless waste
They're
of time in this
better-
game. They're better here,
They're
but
better in HD than in GameCube because they reduced
You
the
see,
number you need to get.
I had to hesitate answering that question because I was trying to figure out if you were asking about the game or real life.
I know, no, same. I was about to be like, I like bugs, and then I realized that we're talking about the game. I'm like, oh, I hate bugs.
yeah, no, the bug fetch quest is utterly pointless, and I
Yeah,
know
I
what they're
agree.
trying to do. They're trying to give you a reason to explore each area. There's a better way to do it.
What is the
the
better
be-
way to do it?
Put stuff you actually want to see in the towns.
And
people
make
that
it
really
not
like bugs.
brown and gross.
I don't
and
really think they
ominous.
need to make you explore because
I feel we're being really unfair to bug enthusiasts.
Bug catcher John wants to battle.
John,
Why would I be a bug?
John,
catcher?
that's what
Fuck bugs.
John, that's what the golden bugs are for.
Agatha.
Yeah,
know,
but
I
I
don't
hate
even remember.
Agatha, so we'll get to that.
I like
later.
Agatha.
Well, that's the only
Agatha's
reason why
funny.
you did bugs in this game was to get rupees, wasn't it?
Well, and some
Yeah.
rewards.
Yeah, I think you get
get a bigger
the better wallet for doing that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why I did it. That's why.
Yeah,
it
but
was
I
one
mean,
better
the whole thing is that they wanted to make dispelling the Twilight a part of the game that you actually have to do, which okay, and trying to search the area for something to find in order to get rid of it, I think is a good enough way to do that.
I would
think
have
that-
preferred individual things to do per area, because the bug fetching is fine for the first area because it's a way to try and test you to make sure you know all your moves as Wolf Link. But later on, it's like, no, this is a fetch quest. Figure out something different to do per area.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think that maybe more interesting puzzles to find each of the bugs maybe might have helped, because like the most complicated it gets is like right here where you push a block and then they appear.
It's basically this game's Gold Skulltulas.
Yeah.
Well, no, the
Except
pros
you-
are the
except you
same
have
to do it.
Skulltulas.
Yeah.
And we'll get to camera.
Camera.
It does that. I don't remember it ever doing that in my first playthrough, and it does it a lot in this one. So, okay, but yeah,
Yeah, but hunting the bugs in this game was made easier in HD because they reduced the amount you need. In the original, it was 16, and this is 12.
Yeah, the only real big issue is the ones that require you to go severely out of your way. Which
third
in the
area.
first, there's only 3 times you need to do it, and the third area is really, I think, the only time where it's super egregious. Like in this, I'm pretty sure we get all of the bugs or almost all of the bugs within. Okay, well, I think we actually probably finish it up next part, but it's
No,
like less than 15 minutes.
No, to
It's-
be fair, the first 2 aren't that bad. They're just kind of annoying, and they're not strictly bad.
Yeah, and
I think it's just
like how
I think it's
they
just that it's
had-
not a very creative thing. It's not a very creative way to make you see different things, and it's not particularly fun to do. I don't know.
yeah, I think that's true. I think, although the third one is a bit tiresome, it does do the best job at varying the things you need to do to find all the bugs. For example, that's the one with the flight minigame.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
the problem is it's just
Yeah.
too long.
The
So it counteracts its own doing other things with just being too long.
Yeah,
I think also, like, for me, this is just a personal thing with the bug section, but like everything is super ugly during the bug section because it's all Twilight and brown and gross, and it's not pleasant to look at or listen to. So a lot of the enjoyment that I get out of playing Zelda games and blah 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 is like feeling really into it and really into the atmosphere, but this atmosphere just it doesn't really do it for me.
well, I guess
And
that's
it
kind of what
prolongs
they're
it.
going for, arguably, is that the Twilight Realm is supposed to make you feel not at ease, but I guess
No,
there's
I
like
get
this...
I get that, but I totally get that, and I like that about the Twilight Realm specifically. But it's just having to do fetch quests within the Twilight Realm. It just feels a little bit long to me.
Yeah, there's a difference between feeling like this area is off-putting and just feeling like this is just not
I
aesthetically...
want to get a
Are,
move on.
Yeah.
are we
Yes,
just gonna ignore
yes.
the sign that the hotel posted on the cliff above that says "Do not jump across from here"?
Yeah, that's how you know you're
I'm
going
gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, sign.
Okay, if you don't want people to jump across from there, why do you have a massive wooden platform within jumping distance of that cliff
Every sign has a story, Lewis.
with no
Like-
fence, no railing to block people who try to jump?
That's what the
I
sign's
can't
job.
afford it.
It's just a suggestion, you know. Please don't.
I think it's
also.
also says that
And
management
by
is...
having that sign, they
It
can't be
says
sued.
that the hotel accepts no responsibility for accidents. So yeah, that's why the sign is there. But like you're
Yeah.
letting us jump there. Why?
Yeah, so they're just saying it's not your fault. Like, I mean, I guess it's just kind of like if every can of food that you got says the store is not responsible if you throw it at people, and then if you go to jail afterwards. I mean, like, yeah. It's not a smart idea.
I mean, honestly, the hotel runners could put a 30-foot wall there, and patrons would just find a 31-foot ladder.
Probably, yeah.